On the show this evening, we will take a look at the All-African Games. Nigerian stands on the medals table, as well as happenings in the other part of sports at the All-African Games. It is the 13th edition and a lot of dynamics, a lot of changes, medals activities ongoing. We look at the comparison between what Nigeria is doing and what other nations participating in the All-African Games are doing. Secondly, we'll take a look at the Indian Wells. It is the 50th edition of the ATP and the 35th in the WTA at Indian Wells ongoing in Florida in the United States of America. And we'll take you through the big shocking story that transpired this afternoon about Novak Djokovic. Not also forgetting that it is another Tuesday, and guess what? Tuesdays are for UEFA Champions League, especially in, and of course this period where we are already looking at the knockout phases and teams that will get through to the next stage. It is the UEFA Champions League, and I can tell you for sure that Arsenal and Barca tonight will have it all strong against their opponents in the different centers. Ekpo Temple is my name. We're going to quick break. When we come back, we'll open the show formally, and of course we'll unravel some of the in-depth stories that we have. Not forgetting that I'm being joined this evening by Emmanuel and Michael. Michael, it's another beautiful evening, another beautiful night of the UEFA Champions League, another time to discuss and buttress on some of the stories as well as preparation ahead of these tough encounters. Good to have you this evening. Yeah, good evening, Temple, and good evening to our viewers out there. A whole lot of sporting stories emanating from the world of sport this evening, and we are here to unfold them as it is coming. Unfold them as it's coming. Let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, of course, we'll start with the All-African Games happening in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast in Ghana.
Goal. Goalkeeper missed it. Right again. Oh, fight him. He does a right hand and down goes the ball straight away. Oh, what a point to end it on. So now this is when they're at their best. And it's when they're 12 years for this. So drink it in. Still goes through on New Zealand. Do I need love to be immortality as an athlete? 19.79. It's a goal. There's 8 goals.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
you human trafficker.
Honourable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
years for this. So drink it in.
Still goes to Arthur New Zealand.
What he'd love to be immortality as an athlete. 19.79. It's a goal. It's 8 goals.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, this is Atlantic Television Network, and there is Sports Extraordinary, where we look at the extraordinary activities that has transpired in the last couple of hours, and of course the ones to come later this evening. I did mention earlier, before that short break, that our focus will be on the All-African Games in Ghana. It is the 30th edition of the show, and of course a lot has transpired. Today is day 5 of the games, and Michael, Team Nigeria is our focus. As of yesterday, Nigeria was pegged at the 2nd place on the medal stand with 8 medals. Today, while we wait to see the collation of other medals this evening, Nigeria is pegged at number 2nd, usurping Algeria and South Africa. They are now in the 2nd position. They now have 41 medals in total and 16 gold medals. What do you make of the changes from what has gotten us to this level, from yesterday to this moment?
Yeah, it's very simple. I think the weightlifting, department also rack up a silverware from that department after the impressive outing of the Wrestling Federation out there, where they actually racked up about 6 gold medals from the wrestling, department. Now it boils down to the weightlifting, athletes out there who also came to the party yesterday, where they were able to make a strong statement out there, thereby racking up medals in different categories out there to add to what we have already gathered so far. So, and that is why we leapfrog the likes of Algeria and South Africa to 2nd position as it stands right now, with a total medal of 41, just like you said earlier. That includes 16 gold medal and the rest closely behind Egypt out there, who is doing very strong for themselves. 84 medals so far for Egypt. That includes 47 gold medals so far. You can see the disparity. Egypt leading the pack out there with 47 gold medals, coming in Nigeria coming in 2nd with 16 gold medals and 41 medals in total. I think the weightlifting, athletes are actually added to some medals to what we had already, and that is why we had to leapfrog countries such as South Africa and Algeria. I think for me, we've done actually well. And of course, you know that the weightlifting, department is another area where we can actually, draw strength. Weightlifting, wrestling, athletic per se, these are areas that we call areas of our comparative advantage, that whatever may, we will definitely rack up 1 or 2 medals right from that angle. But then I think action continues today. Possibly when the official table is out, I can assure you that Nigeria will definitely have been able to rack up 1 or 2 medals to add to what we have already, thereby increasing our tally. So in all, I think it has been an impressive outing for Nigerian contingent.
It's been an impressive outing for Nigerian contingent, no doubt. And when you look at the fact that after day 4 of this encounter, we are now 2nd on the medals table. And of course, if you look at Team Nigeria, those medals so far was generated from those 5 disciplines. Yeah. 5 disciplines of chess, swimming, we have wrestling, we have weightlifting, and I think there's one other that we have gotten medals so far. It means that we still have others like taekwondo, football. We have even athletics, where our strength also lies. And although if you look at the comparison between Egypt and us, you may think that Egypt are already coasting home, but then the athleticism is still close by. Yeah. Can we close that gap?
Yeah. Sorry. Of course, yes, I think we can close that gap with the area of strength, which we talked about earlier, which is athletic. And of course, You know that the Egyptians, they've actually taken a great effort in towards racking up gold or silver medals for the angle or the area which is their own comparative advantage. They started off with table tennis, where they were able to gather a whole lot of gold medals in table tennis. And then for me, I think when athletics comes on board, I assure you that Nigerians' medal is going to be increased, contrary to that of Egypt, who I think their own area, they've actually maximized their area of strength very well, and that is why you see them topping the medals log. And of course, it is not surprising. It's not a rocket science on what the Egyptian has done so far to take them to this far, because they have the needed facilities out there, top-notch facilities out there, with men and women who are capable of manning these facilities. Because for me, it is not all about having the facilities. It's about the maintenance culture. They have it over there, they maintain it, time to time. But here, you discover that even the National Stadium in Abuja, a whole lot of money was sunk into that stadium. But you go there today, it is nothing to write home about. And we've actually invested a lot in the area of trying to maintain it. But then, due to political rally, church activity, and the rest of it all, they just, make the place look as though it's a wasted, venture. And that is why whenever there is any organized competition, the North African, they always find it very easy, to curry favor, in quotes, from the outside world or any organizer, be it CAF organized competition or FIFA out there, because of the facilities that they have on ground and the ability to maintain it over time. But when you talk about other African countries, they always find it very difficult. Cameroon just hosted the African Cup of Nations a few years ago, but I tell you, some of the stadiums that were used 3 to 4 years ago, if you go there right now, you'll be very, very amazed. You'll be taken aback on how dilapidated some of those structures has gone bad. So I think the Egyptians, they are highly favored because of the fact that they've been able to go back to the roots, and they are trying to develop their sport right from the grassroots. They are taking it bit by bit and getting to the top. And the success that we've seen today is not a rocket science, like I said earlier. It boils down to deliberate and a conscious effort towards improving their sporting arena holistically, which is what we are lacking here so far.
Holistically, which we, of course, what we are lacking, but we hope that our Team Nigeria will learn from the effort. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, if you look at the world scene, the likes of the United States of America, the likes of China, coasting when it comes to the Olympics and the World Athletics Championship, and you begin to ask yourself, what are they doing right that we need to learn from? For me, here in Africa, the Egyptians, they look like a formidable force in terms of sports development and sports activity. In 1965, when this particular, the first edition of this All-African Games started, they won it, in fine fashion, and it clearly shows that they have a way of getting their hands in this particular one. No surprise is why in the next edition, they might be hosting the next edition, come 2027, and a lot at stake already. But let's keep our hands, and talk more. But the likes of Toby Amotion, the big names in athletics, we hope to, juggle their boot very soon on the track as well as in the field. The likes of Enekwache, like you said, athletics is another area of comparative advantage, and Nigeria needs to, because I don't think it will be easy, but I feel that it is something that we should take it as a pride that we are standing in athletics. So we should do everything possible to, ignite that name, Nigeria doing so well in athletics.
Yeah, definitely. I can assure you that when it has to do with athletics, we are definitely going to coast home a whole lot of medals. We definitely rack up a lot of medals coming in from that angle, with about 40-something athletes so far in all that is going to take part in one athlete activity or the other. And coupled with the fact that we have our shining star in the person of Toby Amotion, Nekwachi as well, not also excluded. I think we have a whole lot of hope, because some of these athletes that will be making their debut appearance will be buoyed by the fact that they have someone to look up to as a leader within the team out there, that they can actually say, yes, I want to be like this person, and this person have inspired me a whole lot. So I'm very, very confident. If that definitely when it has to do with athletics in Africa, we are a force to be reckoned with. If not for long distance race where Kenya and Ethiopia is also dominating, when it comes to normal, track and field, some of the short sprint races, 100 meter, 200 meter relay race, and 400 meter as well, we are a force to be reckoned with as well. So I'm very, very hopeful that our contingent, when it has to do with the athletics department, we will definitely rack up a whole lot of medals from that angle.
But isn't it surprising that we host a lot of long distance races in Nigeria in recent time, and we cannot project names from Nigeria? We're not saying go and win.
Yeah.
We're saying go and participate.
Yeah.
I mean, go. Let's see. Let the name of Nigeria be on the ladder board when it comes to those long distance races. So I begin to ask myself, where are the the guys and the ladies who always shine when it comes to long distance races, the Pepe race, the Lagos City Marathon, and all the marathons that we've had.
Some time ago, even Obudu yes.
Obudu City Marathon, you know. So I'm just thinking loud. Where are the Nigerians who are participating? I'm thinking that in continental showpiece like this, we can bring one or two to contest. I'm not saying go and win, but I'm just thinking that they should be able to, fly the flag of Nigeria among those that will be contesting.
Maybe for me, they've taken a look at some key factors out there, because record shows findings, empirical findings shows that, they that dwell in maybe Ethiopia, Kenya, they live in a high mountain. So the humidity is quite different. And that is why they find it very, very easy, because that place is very hot. If you can be able to adapt with the weather of that place and continue your training process, coming down to this angle, you look as though you are inside a comfort. I mean, you are in AC. Whereas we in this other side, because of the fact that we are not, opportune to stay in high mountain where, even your breath get to be affected according to findings that we that dwells in this side of the region, we find it very, very difficult to cope up with, high humidity rate, because I mean, the weather always favors us here. While over there, the weather is that harsh. And if they can be able to acclimatize the weather over there, which is harsh, coming down to this region, it'll make it look as though it's a one-way thing for them. That is why they find it very, very easy. But like you said, we are not saying that they must go out there and win. But then we must be represented.
No, because we have 800-meter race.
Yeah.
We have 1,500-meter race.
Yeah.
And then we have 3,000 meter race at the World Athletics Championship is the 3,000 steeplechase and all that.
Yeah.
Why not show, effort? I mean, the Okpekpe 10-kilometer meter race, I'm sure it's longer than 1,500 meter race. So I'm saying that, why not we show effort in I'm showcasing strength that we have such athletes? Maybe the only fanciful reason that could have make some of the athletes not to be part of it is maybe the timing. If the timing for the year is not up to, maybe that could be the only plausible reason why they might be excluded. Otherwise, I think that if an athlete participated at the Okpekpe, marathon race, at the 10-kilometer race in Edo State, and then the Lagos City Marathon, nothing stopping you to also be part of the 1,500 meter race, in an event like this.
Yeah. I think the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, AFN, they need to think.
Or maybe they are looking at, okay, we want to win. The area of comparative advantage, like you said, let's not waste athletes, inviting athletes that will not go and win.
Resources
as well. Bringing 4 or 5 athletes for long distance races, and we know that they will not win. Maybe they're looking at it for that, but I think that it is a start. Yeah. I think that it's about giving opportunity. That's for me very important.
Very, very important. And it's high time the AFN, talking about the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, need to start looking into that direction, because what stops off, we've actually been investing a whole lot in human capital development. And if we want to put that side by side when it has to do with the area of sport, we can also do that as well. How do we invest on some of these athletes so that they can also be at the same par with others out there? What stops us if we want to make a mark? It's still very much possible. We can also go to that region where the humidity is that harsh. We can also send our athletes to go out there and get themselves acclimatized with the weather and train over there. And when they come back here, they will be like those ones who stays there. And of course, most of them, they tour around the world because, in athletics, you don't just stay in one country. They tour around the world because of taking part in one athletic event or the other. So I think for me, the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, they just need to start thinking towards that direction.
Now, I will tell you a story. A certain Bakali of Morocco, has done it back to back in the World Athletics Championship, in the marathon, in the 3,000 steeple chase. Nobody believes that a Moroccan can run that distance with the likes of the Ethiopians of this world, the best of this world. But, I mean, the man did it in 2023, 2022, did it again in 2023. And hopefully he wants to defend it again this year. So, what I'm saying is that if a Moroccan can participate, can prepare himself, and train himself to that level, I don't think that anything is impossible. After all, they leave that side and come and make money from us here. Yeah. And then if we want to train our athletes, start looking at those young kids that are interested in the long distance races, and then send them to the eastern part of Africa and get them developed. 2-3 years, you'll be surprised that we are going to have names that will participate in. Maybe in course of the All African Games, we're going to get an official from the from AFN and pose this question, to them. Let's see their reaction formally. But away from that, let's talk about preparation. Not just in all the sports, even in football. There in the All African Games, Nigeria did the needful against Sudan, and the Falcons, of course, trashed their counterpart from Senegal. But the big expectation now will be how Nigeria will play against Senegal, in the male category, because they need to win Senegal to have a hope of qualification from the group.
Yeah, I think we'll be going neck to neck against the Senegalese, who also won their first game and lost their second game. And the last game against Nigeria is going to be a keenly contested encounter, whereas because Nigeria as well lost our first game and won our second game by that late goal, that late penalty from the Ladamboso's boys out there. So I think for me it's going to be a very difficult game for the Nigerian against Senegal. But then in the game of football, you can't actually write off any team until the final whistle. So I still believe that Ladamboso is going to go back to the drawing board, try to correct some of those mistakes we did in our first game, and also ask his strikers to take their chances, because I actually watched the clip of the last game. I think we had lots of chances, about 3-4 chances to have scored about 3 or 4 goals, but we failed. If not for that penalty, that match should have ended in a draw, which would have been a very, very bad and a negative result for us. So, but for me, let's just be hopeful, hoping that Ladamboso is going to do the needful. Then in our next game against Senegal, which will be a make or a mar game, then the boys might come out blazing.
The boys will come out blazing. And before we go on a short break now, let's look at what is happening in tennis. It is the 50th edition of the Indian Wells Masters 1000 series, and it's going down there in Florida. A lot has transpired in the last couple of days since its commencement, and big names are being thrown overboard. The biggest shocker is Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic has been ousted out from the Masters series this year. This is surprising, and I know that it will be a shock to many getting to hear that Novak Djokovic has been ousted out by a 123rd ranked player in the world.
I think for me, I'm also disappointed and shocking for me and for other, tennis followers out there, because Novak Djokovic is a big name when you talk about the ATP, the tennis world. I mean, he has been able to build this reputation for himself. He has been able to carve a niche for himself in the tennis world out there. You can't actually mention about 5 greatest tennis players of all time without also, mentioning the name of this man who have also achieved a whole lot for himself. But this season, after the Australian Open that he actually lost, I think he has not been able to get back his mojo going, and he has actually struggled in some of the games we expect him to win very easy. So I think, I don't know what seems to be the problem, but then he truly needs to go back and work on himself. If he wants to stay very, very relevant. Losing your game to a players ranked 123rd or thereabout to world #1, I think for me something is certainly wrong somewhere. So I think Novak Djokovic needs to go back, to his closet, work on his game, and so that when he comes out next time, we'll definitely see the Novak Djokovic that we used to know.
All right, let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, we'll talk football. The UEFA Champions League will be the focus in the second segment of the show. This a Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. We're back in RGV.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
right, welcome back, and it is the last lap of the show. Of course, we'll look at the UEFA Champions League. But before now, we roved around the All-African Games as well as happenings in the Indian Wells ongoing in Florida. Let's come back home and let's take a look at what is happening in football matters. But before we delve to club football, where the UEFA Champions League will stand tall in our conversation here this evening, let's look at the draws at the CAF Confederation Cup, where Rivers United has been drawn against USM Algiers of Algeria in a tricky tie. 31st of this month, US Algiers will come to Nigeria to play Rivers United at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium. What do you make of the draws, Kingsley, Michael?
I knew it quite well when the moment Rivers United finished second, they would definitely meet any of these North African teams out there. And of course, if you know the history behind the North African teams here in Africa playing against West African teams, they always had they have always have the upper hand out there. But the good thing is that Rivers United is going to play at home first. And that is my fear about Rivers United, is that they have not been very, very convincing, and they have not been very, very consistent, both in the league and in the continental, showpiece as well. So I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Rivers United. But then I still see them, doing the magic only if they can be able to galvanize themselves, coordinate their defense line, which seems to be very, very porous. Then I can assure you they may win 2-1. But then another thing is that if we cannot be able to win convincingly here, we should just forget about it, because going over there to North African, I think it's going to be a very, very difficult game for us out there, because they deploy every antics available to ensure that they distract any away team. Some of these North African teams, that is what they do. Whether Al Ahly, name them, Zamalek, we've always known that these are the antics they use. So Rivers United need to win the first leg here. Not just winning, but they need to win big. But my fear is that...
Even if you win big.
even if you win big, it's still a problem.
It's a problem, because sometimes it's the home and away goal rule that might... Because they go there, they have a way of pecking you back.
Sure, the crowd itself is another advantage for them, because over there the crowd always turn out in mass in their games, contrary to what we have here. Even if we get to throw the gate open when Enyimba will be playing here in Adoke Amakan, you still find the stadium very, very scanty. But over there, the stadium is always filled to eat dream. And of course, the 12 men, talking about the fans out there, when they are chanting players' names, singing some heroic song, they also motivate the players out there to even double their effort. But when you lack such a home support from the fans here, it could demoralize the players as well. So I think this might possibly be the end of the road for Rivers United.
Well, at early days to give up hope there. One thing certain is that football can be very dramatic. Rivers United against USM Algiers. USM Algiers are not the same, but let's see how far they can go. Rivers United, the pride of Nigeria, still have an advantage, but it all begins on the 31st of this month, when they will play host to USM Algiers at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium there. But away from that, now let's talk the UEFA Champions League tonight. Two games at two different centers. We play host to the return of the UEFA Champions League, continuation of the round of 16 matches. Arsenal, the Emirates, will take on the guys from Porto, FC Porto, and they are having 1-0 deficit. Can they restore? Can they restore and win this particular one today?
Very, very possible, especially playing at home at the Emirates Stadium. We saw the fans, the form of Arsenal so far in the last 5 games they've played. They've been actually very, very impressive, playing one of the greatest football so far this season. Also getting the result, winning convincingly, even without an outright striker. They're still banging the goals. So for me, I think Arsenal is in a pole position to at least win today's game. But then they stand a tall mountain for them to climb in Porto, who is also very, very good domestic in the domestic league out there. So I think it's going to be a clash of the titan. But let's see what Arsenal can be able to do in this very well. before the first leg against Porto, they actually played 3 Premier League games, and they won those games 4-0, 5-0, 6-1, very convincing. And where people thought maybe it was going to be a repeat of the same goal feast that we saw against Porto. But unfortunately, Arsenal in the first leg against Porto, they could not muster a single shot on target, and that is how bad it was for them. And a very good compact Porto side coming to Emirates, Arsenal truly need to live up to the billing. If not, I see them, facing a very tall mountain to climb, especially the Porto defense line that is very, very strong. The likes of Otavio, the likes of Pepe, even not forgetting our own Zaidu Sanusi as well will be in. But for me, I strongly believe with the form of Arsenal this season, they are going to go past Porto, but then it's going to be a very difficult one, especially with Martinelli out injured in this very one. But then Trossard can come and do the job. But in all, I think it's going to boil down to the coaches out there. Their tactical formation, their tactical prowess might possibly change the narrative. And again, a brilliance of a one player out there can also make the difference. But one thing is very certain, that it's going to be a clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans, because Porto themselves, they have also been in an emphatic form, scoring 8 goals in the last 2 games. They defeated the Portunenses, 3-0 the last time, and Keanu Nascimento Gaino, the man that scored the last time against Arsenal, has scored 6 times now. So he surely poses a threat.
Definitely, he's a marksman. He definitely knows where the goal post is, even while closing his eyes. According to a late interview I was granted to him 3 days ago, but he said that he doesn't get bothered so long as he finds himself within the 18-yard box, that he can close his eyes and still find the net. So Arsenal, they need to be very, very wary of this man.
But you look at the partnership between Gabriel Mahangalis and you look at the defense, they haven't conceded many goals in recent time in the English Premier League. Yes, they conceded against Brentford, no doubt, but look at the defense. Do you think that Porto have, apart from this man, can Porto pull the magical strings to cause major harm tonight?
Definitely, because Porto is playing more like a unit. They don't have one single player that you say, yes, this one is a starman, a joker of the team out there. And one thing about playing a team that is very, very compact, that fight for each other in the pitch of play, that play like a unit, is that you find it very difficult to cage any player because you don't know who to mark. And for me, that could be very, very dangerous for Arsenal. But then I still see Arsenal as highly favored to go home with the victory tonight. But then, like I will keep saying, this is football. You can't rule out any upsets.
This is football. Upset is the name of the game. Would there be an upset tonight at the Emirates? Our finger is crossed on that particular one. But we'll come back to the prediction formally. But away from that, is a game that we played at a stadium that houses more than 50,000 spectators tonight. It will be Barca hosting Napoli in the 6th biggest stadium in this, the city of Spain. And of course, in the city of Catalonia, where this will be centered. It looks like a big mountain for Napoli since they drew 1-1. Is it 1-1 or goalless in Naples?
No, 1-1. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very difficult mountain for Napoli to climb. But then this is football, and this is UEFA Champions League, the biggest club competition when you talk about the world of football. I think it's very, very achievable that Napoli can still come down to Spain and get the victory. But it's going to be very difficult. But then, if you look at the squad of Barcelona, they actually have some injury worries out there to some of their key players. The likes of Gavi, Pedri, Ferran Torres. These are key players for a certain Barcelona side that is going to be out in this very game. So I expect it to be a keenly contested encounter, especially Kivicha Kvaratskhelia and Victor Osimhen finding their scoring boot back again could prove very, very difficult for Barcelona to crack this Italian team. We know how resilient, how defensively strong, you know, an Italian team could be. Though you may want to say that Napoli is not in the best of their form this season compared to what they did last season, sitting ninth in the table so far. I think it's very, very disappointing season. But then, if they truly want to at least have something to smile home about this season, then the only angle or the only route that can be able to put smiles in the faces of the fans of the Naples is through the Champions League. And I know they wouldn't want to, take their foot off the pedal. They want to come out, firing from all cylinders, and that will make the game even more very, very intriguing tonight.
Very intriguing tonight, and in one side of the divide is Robert Lewandowski, and in the other side of the divide is Victor Osimhen. And if you look at what Lewandowski has done in recent time, you cannot rule out the fact that in games like this, he can pull the chestnut out of fire. He has, partnered in 18 goals scored in this stage of the UEFA Champions League. That tells you how prolific he can be as a striker.
Yeah, you can't actually doubt the quality of Robert Lewandowski, who have also won the Champions League as well. He has also played for Bayern Munich, played for Borussia Dortmund. He has garnered a whole lot of experience as a striker, very, very dangerous, very prolific. He's a striker that can always give you that goal when once you give him that right pass at the right time. Forget about it. He's not a kind of striker that misses chances. He takes you to the cleaner if you give him that space as a defender. But then, looking at the quality of what Victor Osimhen also brings into the table is another feared striker as well that Barcelona need to be very wary as well, especially when it combined with Kivicha Kvaratskhelia. Their combination is always a very, very devastating attack. So I think it's going to boil down to who wants it the most. It's either Barcelona or Napoli. But then one thing is certain, that it's not going to be an easy game tonight.
So let me put you on the spot. Arsenal versus Porto.
I see Arsenal going through.
Okay, regardless of the scoreline.
Yeah.
Barca and Napoli.
Barca, for sure.
All right, that will be all this evening on Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network. Our Sports Extraordinary, of course, goes to the 123rd ranked player who hosted out Novak Djokovic, as well as the weightlifter, Nigerian weightlifter who won 3 medals, yesterday, at the ongoing All-African Games. That will be all today. So many thanks to you out there viewing us. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Atlantic Television Network to converse further. I did the show with Emmanuel Michael. Ekpo Temple is my name. Let's do this again tomorrow, same time here on Atlantic Television Network. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Goal. Goalkeeper